giving and receiving, except you only. This is what Paul is saying. He's saying that Paul started several churches, Galatians, Ephesus, but he's trying to identify the Philippian church as one that were very, very good in what? Sacrificial giving. And he identified them as what? Partners. Okay? Except you only. Even in Thessalonica, you sent me help for my need once and again. This is one of the good works that God was doing in the Philippian church. Sacrificial giving. In the early church, this is the truth. In the early church, the issue of tithing was not up for conversation, because this was one of the things that God was doing in them. It is one of the good works that God was doing in them. So the issue of tithing, you wouldn't find it in the New Testament as you find it today in the modern day church conversation, because they believed that God was doing a work in people to give freely. And Paul did not even talk about tithing the way some do today. Because if anybody was going to be talking about tithing, it would have been the Apostle Paul to establish the tithing principle according to what? The church doctrine. But Paul never talked about it. This is what Paul is talking about. He's talking about a partnership whereby people were given out of what? A good work God was doing through people. Are you following me? Are we together? This is an example of a good work. So as a congregation, as we are here, God is doing good works through some of us, right? Some of you are giving to the church. It is a good work. You bring money to the church. It is a good work. Nobody is forcing your hands that you have to give. If you are giving because somebody is forcing you, it is not a good work. It is not a work of God. But if you are doing it out of your own will, then it means that what? It is a good work. Because the Apostle Paul says that what? When you give to the church, it shouldn't be by what? Compulsion. We are trying to define good work, things that God is doing through people. And that is what Paul says, what he is confident that God that had begun that good work, he will bring it to what? Completion. There is a reason why God is leading you to give to the church. God will bring it to what? Completion. Are we together? All right. Let's look at the second good work that God was doing in the Philippian church.